make any person Baha'i. He even gives an example in the beginning of Islam. He says, for 300 years there was no Quran, book was not there, there was printing. People are just talking one to one, and they brought people into the Baha'i faith, he says, into Islam. So book and writing, he says, is not really a big factor. Is what the fire is in you. You talk to somebody else and the fire will just get into that person. Don't use media, just use yourself directly. He says that. So, and those people that if you don't know, like I don't know all the people on the planet, I could use this YouTubes or media that I'm talking right now to convey the message, but I know. But the best way, actually, as I said, is the friendship. But there's a catch here. Very important. You can't use friendship to make people Baha'i. If you're planning on a person, first to become friend with and then turn him into Baha'i faith, that's a trick. Friendship is the goal. I can't become a tool. Baha'i faith is the tool of friendship. It's very important. We have to become friend with people. We have to learn that. Remember, we're all a piece of jigsaw puzzle. Don't try to, you don't like the guy, but say, hi, hello, Milo, and this and that, and we're trying to, trick him, cheat him into get him into the Baha'i faith. If you do this is a political approach. People may sign up, but they came into politically. Shoghi Effendi says, all these inner characters that are hidden inside, it will manifold itself. It will manifest itself, he says, in manifold directions. Very big word, he says. What's hidden inside your head, no one knows. When it comes in appearance, it causes a lot of problem. Yes, you can teach a spiritual quality, commodity. You can handle it politically. That is a political approach. Baha'i faith is not like that. No. I brought in my story, as I was telling you before, about Tawheed, my first real Baha'i teacher. He didn't bring me outside to teach me about the Baha'i faith. He himself says that. You were just interesting. You write your poem. I just want to know what's going on with you. Interesting to know you. And as you start to know me, and I know him, we became friends. During the friendship, he introduced me to the writing of Baha'u'llah. He knew where to hit. And I was very, attracted to Baha'u'llah's writing, poetical writing. And then when I said that the Baha'u'llah's writing, in my opinion, his poetry is a miracle because he has 3-4 rhymes in one line. And he just said, I don't know about this. How do you see that? When I explained it, he said, you know what, I learned something new. Then I talked about the mysticism in Islam, about Hallaj, about Attar, about Rumi and others. He just opened a new door to him. Through the friendship, I became his teacher, he became my teacher, I was his student, he became my student. We became friends, regardless of my religion and my background. At my age, he was 5 years older than me. He was humble enough to see the friend, He didn't apply humbleness, he just was humble. And that helped him, because he had these attributes. But when you're a teacher, and you see yourself as a teacher, others, and a student, it's a one-way relationship. You never learn this way, you have to only teach. What do you become, a book? The book can teach us, we can't teach a book. TV, this video, talks to you, you can learn, you cannot teach me. Because it's a one-way talking. But when you become a teacher of somebody, and you're telling you're a student, I'm a teacher, then you're going to a school, it's difficult. Baha'i faith is not a school. We're not teacher and others are a student. We become friend. We're friend. Baha'u'llah has to come to unite us. He says that in the Kitab Aqdas, associate with all the people of all the religions. All of them. Well, association is about becoming friend, He doesn't say that, oh, turn a Christian into Baha'i or Muslim into this. No. Or you say, use this to turn them into faith. No. That is satanic. Don't do that. All right. Let's see what are the other points here. that I've written some notes for myself. So I've written to emphasize that do not teach people like a plan and a scheme to get them to sign up a card and to come into the faith, and you think you've added another person to the Baha'i faith. Do not do that, mister, because you're creating a party, a political party called Baha'u'llah's party. That's absolutely what he was not. This is mishandling the truth. It's like using telephone, imagine, receiver to bang a nail into the wall. That's not made for this. Baha'i faith wants to do something that nobody else can do. There's politics already that can politically connect people together to create a country. There's philosophical and philosophy that can explain, reason things behind what people are and bring up with some answers. There are lawyers. They enact laws, so create some kind of administration and order. There are doctors that make our physical body. But none of them are Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah is something else, a different category. He wants to do something that nobody else can do. That's friendship, that's trust, that's love between the people, which is required to create a family. If there's no love, no one can teach that. Baha'u'llah has come for that, Baha'is are for that. Shoghi Effendi clearly says in the world order of Baha'u'llah, let the good things and benevolences and humanitarian work to be done by the good people. You just be a good Baha'i, he says. Because that's what people don't do. Now imagine, I call myself a Baha'i, but I turn Baha'i faith into a philosophical things. Turn it into a party, as a political party, and a social, reform. None of that. That can all be done by people. Excuse me. What people can't do is this beautiful relationship with the people that they can have. So now, getting into the teaching, let's just talk a little bit about that too. When I talk about teaching, I'm either Canadian or Iranian. I encountered in my life that a lot of people are shy. Especially in Canada, when they become Baha'i, they're pretty, sound mind. You just feel that's proselytizations, It's like Jehovah's Witness going knock the door and proselytizing the faith, trying to inculcate it, instruct it in the head of the people. They feel that's bad. It's not very polite to talk to somebody about the faith if he hasn't asked any questions about it or there's no ground for it. So, people have asked me this, how to find people. You can't ask about religion at all. I told, one of them, I remember in Thunder Ray, said, do you remember when you were a young man and you loved this girl and you wanted to approach? You said, yeah. Was it easy? I said, no, it's so difficult. Every time I went there to tell her, hey, I want a date or I want something, I was just sweating and not feeling comfortable. I just didn't want it, but I loved to do it, but I was shy and I couldn't do it. And I says, finally I had to do it. Teaching the Baha'i faith is a love relationship. It's exactly the same thing. You want to say to the person, I love you, and you don't know him. It's kind of hard to tell him. It's the same thing. But if you don't overcome this feeling that you have as a young man to tell to the girl or to the boy that you love him or her, you would never stop a relationship in a family. Can you? No. Somehow you overcome that. It's the same story. You have to overcome that. When you talk about Baha'i faith to people, it's a love relationship. It's not about money, it's not about philosophy, it's not about teaching, it's not about none of that. It's that, hi buddy, me and you, our friend, I know I look Iranian to you, okay. I see people are not comfortable to call me Abbas, they call me Tony. My first paycheck was 8 tomorrow. I said, why 8? He said, well, you know, A stands for Anthony, and we felt that you are Italian from Palermo or something. I said, no, I'm an Iranian. My name is Abbas. I said, Abbas? Abbas? What? I did have Tony. I said, okay, Tony is good for me. Good for you? I said, then it's just a name. But this is the part, you know, that we're shy to talk about it. I'm telling you, I swear to God, even the prophet of God is not immune. I was just totally shocked when I read this one day. How human are these prophets of God? I was reading this Mahmud's diary in Persian language. He says that Abdullah, when I came to the United States and I went on Tribune and I looked at the population, I started to sweat, he says. It was just very amazing for me, him to say that. He says, I sweat, it was hard for me. But then he says, I overcome. So Abdullah was shy, but he felt the sense of duty is big. People are in danger, they're going to die with no spiritual power in them. You know what's going to happen to them? So, but there has to be a process to make this easier. For example, first of all, you have to create this urge in yourself. What do I need to teach? What do I do to make myself to teach? We always like to talk about what we know, isn't it? If you read a book where you get a lot of information about astronomy, physics, I don't know, Hollywood, if you find somebody, you can talk and share those things because you just, you know, accumulated a lot of knowledge. It's the same thing.